Larry Elder joins us now, host of the Larry Elder Show and 2024 GOP presidential candidate. Larry, welcome to the program, sir. Are you in Milwaukee?
Of course I'm in Milwaukee, and I'm going to be on that debate stage. I predict it. I'm not a betting man, but if I were, I would bet my house Larry Elder is going to be up there on that debate stage in some 12 hours from now.
Oh, I hope you are right, Larry. I hope you are on stage. What is the message that you think needs to be there tonight?
Well, regarding the reason they're keeping me out, Glenn, I've met the 40,000 individual donor criterion. I've met the fact I've got to have 200 donors from 20 different states. I've exceeded that. The problem is the last one, which is I've got to have 3 national polls where Elder is at least 1% among Republican and Republican-leaning voters. I submitted 3. As I pointed out in that little video, they rejected one, the Rasmussen poll. And they told me that it was, quote, affiliated with Donald Trump, close quote, whatever the hell that means. And I said, well, it's not affiliated with me. And they said any poll affiliated with any candidate is not usable. I said the same Rasmussen that you quote all the time on your Twitter feed, the same Rasmussen that was the most accurate in 2016. And they said yes. And then after that, Glenn, we turned in another one where I'm above 1%. So we turned in 4. The last one was turned in after the deadline, but I didn't realize they were going to reject one of the ones that I turned in. So as far as I'm concerned, all the criteria have been met. Moreover, my lawyer is the former chair of the Federal Elections Commission. They 25 years ago put down the rule that sets forth the debate criteria. And they say that the RNC or DNC can set forth their own criteria. Once you do it, you have to follow it and apply it fairly to every single candidate. So they're applying it to 8 of them who are going to be up there, not Larry Elder, which means, in my lawyer's view, they're giving them an in-kind contribution of 120 minutes of free airtime. And if you look at the cost of airtime on Fox News, multiply it times 8, that means that the RNC could be facing, Glenn, a fine of up to $100 million for giving an in-kind contribution. And Fox News could also face a fine of $100 million by the FEC for giving an in-kind contribution. We're holding a press conference in 1/2 hour. I'm laying all this out. And if by 2 o'clock local time they have not determined that Larry Elder is up there, we're going to file that complaint with the FEC.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. We'll be praying for you and hoping that you are up on the podium today. I mean, I think when the GOP selected their leadership here recently, they signaled who they were. And I don't have a lot of time for the GOP, quite honestly. I think they are they're becoming Democrats in every way. I mean, the super delegates happened because they didn't trust the American people. When Ronald Reagan was elected, all of a sudden the Democrats were like, we can't have just a regular schmo get up there, somebody that we haven't selected. And I really think the GOP is doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing now.
Yeah. I think they are. And as I pointed out in that little video, you got one guy that offered a $20 gift certificate for a $1 donation. Another one offered a free country western concert for a $1 donation. Another one gave commissions to people to go out and get other donors. I didn't do any of that. I did it the old-fashioned way, and I'm excluded, but those practices, which are corrupt, if not illegal, are okay. It's outrageous. And what I think, Lynn, is they don't like Larry Elder because I make them feel uncomfortable. I talk about the lie that America is systemically racist, a lie that the Democrats have been using against Republicans time and time again. I call them out on that. I think the Republicans are weak in letting somebody like Al Sharpton criticize Donald Trump for referring to the Georgia officials as riggers. Al Sharpton considered that to be a racist term. This is the guy who once referred to the then black mayor of New York as an N-word whore. And here he is laying this down, and nobody from the RNC punched back hard. I think I make him feel uncomfortable because I know the number one social problem in the country, Glenn, is not the epidemic of COVID, but the epidemic of fatherlessness. 70% of black kids enter the world without a father in the home, married to the mother, up from 25% back in 1965. They don't want to hear about that because they're definitely afraid of being called racist. Nothing scares a Republican establishment guy more than being called a racist by the left. They run like scalded kittens. And then we've got this absolute disaster known as K through 12 urban education, where just to pick one city, Baltimore, 13 public high schools in Baltimore, I kid you not, 0% of the kids can do math at grade level. They're all located in the inner city, and they don't like tough talk like that.
Jeez. Larry, one thing that DeSantis hasn't clearly answered, and I'd like to hear your answer, is Ukraine. What are your thoughts on Ukraine? We've got 2 minutes.
We ought not be paying for this war. We are tired, Americans are, of being taken advantage of. We do the heavy lifting when it comes to the cost of the United Nations. We do the heavy lifting when it comes to the World Bank, when it comes to the International Monetary Fund. Our NATO partners are not pulling up the 2% of their GDP that they're supposed to. They're the ones who are threatened by Ukraine far more than we are. Why are we paying for it? Secondly, Putin has already lost this war. All these experts predicted that Ukraine would fold in a few days, if not a few weeks. It didn't happen. We're in the second year now. Putin has lost 200,000 troops. By American terms, that would be as if we lost 400,000. There was an attempted coup, for crying out loud. His economy is in free fall. They've lost about 20 generals on the battlefield, or they've disappeared. He's already lost this war. He's looking for an off-ramp. We ought to be putting pressure on both sides to do just that and get us out of this thing.
Larry, best of luck. I know you've got to run to your press conference, but I hope to see you on the stage tonight. You are a welcome voice and a voice that should be heard by more. Thank you.
I appreciate it, Glenn. And tell people to go to LarryElder.com. I've now incurred an unexpected legal expense, so I'm going to need the help. LarryElder.com.
Thank you very much.